This is an RS3M V5, and today I'm going to review it for you guys so you know whether or not to buy this new cube. So this cube is amazing in the fact that it retails for only $25 on thecubicle.com. And for being $25, it has basically everything. I mean, it has maglev, a ball core, dual adjustment system, and even UV coating, which I know a lot of people, including me, really like. But is it really worth $25, or is it just a really bad cube? That is the question that I'm going to be answering. So here's my current main, the Weilong V9. It also has ball core, UV coating, maglev, a dual adjustment system, but what this one doesn't have on the RS3M V5 is edge repelling core magnets. So basically, for those of you who don't know, the Weilong V9 and the RS3M V5 both have a ball core, which means that the core in there is a ball. And what is in the ball core is magnets on each side. Now, there is a 20 magnet ball core version of this cube that came out a little later, but this is just the standard 8 magnet, which means that there's a magnet right there, but not right there. So what the edge repelling core magnets do is, looking at an edge here, you can see that it has magnets right there. So in addition to the corners having magnets that attach to the core like this, it also has edges that repel the core. This makes it so when you're halfway through your turn, that little edge magnet down there will repel the core, pushing you to your next destination. That's what I'm going to call it, a destination. That's great. It is when you have to make their things so hard to do. Again, I can just pop the edge back in. Of course, that is GAN, so you can basically just insert a corner on GAN. So as you just saw, the Weilong V9 does have the edge repelling core magnets, but other than that, what really does it have up on the RS3M V5? So first, the RS3M V5 just has those little kind of nubs that stick out on the centers, whereas the Weilong V9 has this big giant ring around it, which I know some other popular cubes, like my Tornado V3, also do that same thing, where they have a ring. I don't know if it like improves corner cutting or something, but the RS3M V5 does not have it. But I know that's something all the Weilong lines have had, I think all the way back to the Weilong GTS 3M, or maybe back more. I don't know, I haven't really looked into those cubes. But we're just going to get into a turning test. So here's the Weilong V9. Okay, so it has a very crisp turning. It's super quick. And just for reference, the Weilong V9 is my current main. I think I might have already said it, but I just really like how it turns. So it's really effortless turning. You can see I'm doing a YouTube, but my second finger is barely hitting that edge right there. It just goes so quick. Middle moves are no problem at all. End slices are so smooth on this cube. But onto the RS3M V5. So the RS3M V5 is kind of similar to the Weilong. You can feel there is a bit of a sound difference, and the sounds are definitely different, but the pieces they have different feels to them. I thought it would be very similar, but let me see if I can describe it. The Weilong V9 has more of a click, that's for sure. It really locks you into place there with those extra magnets. But the RS3M V5 just has a bit more of the RS3M Super feel, which makes sense, as they do have a very similar piece design. And the Weilong V9 feels definitely different because its piece design is quite a bit different. But I really like the feel of both of these cubes. And let me just say, for $25, the RS3M V5 is a no-brainer. I actually just got this on the Cubicles flash sale, so it was only $18, which was an incredible deal. But the turning, they're different, but I still think the RS3M V5 is amazing. But I don't think it's just quite as good, in my opinion, as the Weilong V9. I'll just give you a sound test really quick. So, RS3M V5. I'll do the Weilong V9 one more time. So you can definitely hear it. They have very different sounds to them. But the RS3M V5 just feels like there's more empty space inside the cube, while the Weilong V9 feels like the pieces are more cohesive. But let's just jump right into the adjustment systems on these two cubes. Okay, so taking a look at both of these cubes' adjustment systems, they both use MoYu's standard adjustment system that they've been using since the Weilong RS3M. So you have your screw for center travel and your whatever you call that thing, the spinny thingy. That's what we're gonna call it for now on this channel, the spinny thingy, and the spinny thingy for tension. So both these cubes have the same adjustment system. There's nothing to see there. But what is interesting is the center caps aren't interchangeable on the cubes. So you can see here's the RS3M V5 center cap. Here's the Weilong V9. It does not fit on the Weilong V9, and that does signal that these cubes are different sizes, which, if I put these center caps on, comparing them side by side definitely confirms that the RS3M V5 is definitely bigger than the Weilong V9. If I line them up, you can see that it is bigger, just ever so slightly. That's because the Weilong V9, I think, is actually like 54.5 millimeters, because it isn't even as big as the Tornado V3 or my Diane Guhong 55 millimeters, which is why I switched to it as my one-handed main over the Diane Guhong Pro M, which I have right here. I think this cube is really good, really smooth, which is nice, and it's super quick, which is why I used it for one-handed. I also made it faster by installing edge-repelling core magnets on mine, but more about that later. So now comes to the part of the video where I'm going to do solves on each of these cubes. So I will be doing official CS timer generated scrambles, and I'll see just a quick average of 5 on both cubes to see which one I perform better on. So here we can see my average of 5 on the RS3M V5 was 16.45 seconds. Now it's time for the Weilong V9, and we'll see if the Weilong V9 can beat it, or if the RS3M V5 is just a little bit better. Alright, so the results are in. The average of 5 for the Weilong V9 was 16.25, barely beating the RS3M V5. So I did like the feel of the Weilong V9 a little better, so I do think I will keep the Weilong V9 as my main, but the RS3M V5 is a really good cube, and I would definitely recommend it to literally anyone, because I definitely could see a few people who would like to feel the RS3M V5 better than the Weilong V9, just because it's a little bit smoother and doesn't have as much of that. I don't know how to explain it, but you can kind of like, this one's a little bit more sandy than this one, but I do really like a more sandy feel in the cube. So I think I'll stick with the Weilong V9. Thank you for watching this video, and I think that the RS3M V5 is a great cube for anyone looking to get into cubing, or anyone who's already a pro and just wants a really good speed cube that might be their new main. I'll see you guys in the next one, and thank you for watching.